Now let's try another question. So if I remove this, oops. Okay. So this essay question reads, technology has made people even more antisocial. Do you agree? Now when we read this question, it's suggesting that because of computers, because of mobile phones, because of all forms of technology, people have stopped communicating as openly with others. And it's asking us to take a position on it. Do you agree? So the first thing we need to do is come up with some ideas that both support and refute this statement, and then look at them and see which one would be an easier stance to take in writing an essay. So some obvious things to support this would be the idea, I guess, that so people are now spending more time using their computer, more time on the internet, more time playing video games. So perhaps we could say the internet, video games, or the internet, video games, TV watching, etc. encourages people to spend their time in isolation. In isolation being alone. To spend their time in isolation interacting with a machine. So when we think of someone who's on the internet, maybe we imagine someone who is not necessarily communicating with people, but just sort of doing their own thing. So this idea would support the argument that technology has made people even more antisocial. Now on the refute side of it, if we think about technology, well, in some ways, yes, it has caused people to spend more time in front of a computer, but it has also opened up a whole number of other avenues for people to communicate through. So something that would refute this argument perhaps would be these new technologies that have helped people to communicate. So we could say something like a lot of technology actually encourages people to interact with others. So, for example, like mobile phones, or Facebook, or networking websites like Facebook. So instead of being alone and experiencing technology by yourself and it forcing you to kind of retract from communicating with others, it is that, well, perhaps technology is actually encouraging people to interact with other people. Now, another side that could help us support a refute statement would be perhaps that technology has not made people more. Technology has not made people less able to communicate with others, but just perhaps that they're communicating in different ways. So when it's not a traditional means of communication, for example, face-to-face, this is a new way to communicate with people. So perhaps people are not more antisocial. They are just communicating in different ways. So maybe as an example, so instead of meeting a person face-to-face, if you're in the office, instead of walking down the hall and meeting them, well, you're just going to send them an instant message instead. So instead of meeting face to face in the office, instant messaging can be used. So now we've come up with some ideas that support the idea that technology has made people even more antisocial, and some ideas that refute it. And when we look at this, we can see, well, we have two ideas that refute and one that supports. So I suppose that the easiest essay to write would be a refute essay. So now that we've decided to write a refute essay, well, then we take on the task of writing a thesis that directly responds to this essay question. It reads, technology has made people even more antisocial. Do you agree? Now, to refute this, we could write as our thesis, perhaps, it is refuted that technology has made people even more anti-social. And as I pointed out in the essay question that we worked on before this one, if we look at this thesis directly answers our essay question. I've actually pulled words out of the essay question and put them into our thesis. So technology has made people even more antisocial. Do you agree? And then in our thesis we wrote, it is refuted that technology has made people even more antisocial. So when the essay reader reads our essay, they can directly in our essay question. There is no confusion at all what point of view we are taking. So that concludes our short lesson on how to write an argument essay thesis. Thank you for listening.